for a lot of decent people out there, industriousness, ambition, having a vision, dreams, these things aren't really the issue. The issue really comes with a low truth preference and a low tolerance for pain. And so, what that means is that most of the time, the people that don't really have their finances where they want to be, for example, it's because they don't have a high pain tolerance and they don't have a high truth preference. If you can't withstand the pain, if you can't ride the ocean and sail the ocean and just be able to live in accordance to that which you know you need to do, you just need to commit to it, but you can't, well, then that's going to be where the trouble lies. It's almost like when people first study Bitcoin and find out about Bitcoin, they just want to, push it aside, cast it aside. Why? Because it's a new terrain. It's a novel terrain for them where they don't have to really see what's going on underneath the couch, right? It's like there's a dragon in the house and it's under the couch, but everybody pretends like they don't see it's there. That's fiat currency, by the way. Fiat currency is the dragon. And Bitcoin is basically like the hero archetype that comes in and wants to slay the dragon for you. All you have to do is being willing to fight the dragon with the hero, but you don't want to do it. Now, look, I'm not idolizing Bitcoin here. I'm just saying that Bitcoin is basically the antidote to all the fiat currency crap. Because trying to save money in fiat currencies, trying to save money, invest money in fiat currencies, there are times and places for these things, sure. And it's not that I think fiat currency is evil. It's just a terrible system. I mean, it can be used for evil, just like anything can be used for evil. Okay, like for example, social media can be used for evil, or it can be used for good. And this is where you have to really take a step back and look at what's happening. And you have to HODL, okay? HODL, if anybody that doesn't know what that is, HODL, hold on for dear life. Okay, HODL onto your nuts, HODL onto your freedom, and HODL onto your Bitcoin, because that's going to be the key going forward here. Well, why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons that I can give you, but really I think that the best thing to do would be to research on your own about this thing and look at the history of money. Okay, well, what do you research about, right? Research the history of money, research why money works the way that it does, research what Bitcoin actually is, because as Michael Saylor has said, if you don't understand you won't understand Bitcoin if you don't understand computers and if you don't understand how money works. Okay, money is basically a frequency. You can think about it like that. And if you want to get into a new frequency where you can attract more of whatever it is that you're seeking, then you have to develop these thought algorithms and thought patterns that allow you to cultivate a certain frame of mind or mode of being so that you can acclimate to that state of being. And for so long, you just eventually just be in that frequency, right? But that takes effort. It takes consistency. It takes you having to hold on to your nuts, okay? You have to hold on to your nuts. You have to double down. You have to go out there and truly believe and have faith in what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you don't have self-belief or belief in God, I would say, first of all, belief in God, but this is not like a religious channel, but it does tie in with Bitcoin, okay? Following Christ does follow into Bitcoin, but that's a story we can get into another time. The point is that if you don't know how money works and why money works the way that it does, if you don't understand why people can be so dumb, right? And I'm not trying to knock on anybody, because that wasn't like that's not really going to help anything. It's just that people don't want to be able to take a step back. They fear what they don't understand, right? They don't understand how to go through the pain. And they don't understand, like, being in martial arts, for example. Martial arts will teach you a whole lot about how to actually live in accordance to something more than yourself, where you can take the pain and you can continue forward and you can transmute that pain into something beautiful. And Bitcoin does that. Bitcoin offers you a new perspective of the domain of money in which you can operate at a higher frequency. I genuinely believe that. And why do I believe that? Because the more I study Bitcoin, the more I understand what it is. Okay, the more I understand how the nodes work, or how the actual verification systems work. Because you don't have to just trust it like fiat currencies. Fiat currencies, anybody can diminish your purchasing power at any time. But with Bitcoin, the true value that comes from Bitcoin is everything becomes cheaper over time. Okay, so think about this, for example. Think about if you were to buy, let's just say let's say a pizza, right? Because that was one of the first things that Bitcoin was bought with, right? Or was the first thing, like 2 pizzas for what, 10,000 Bitcoin or something years ago, over a decade ago. So what was that exactly? I mean, number one, well, at the time, 2 pizzas would cost 10,000 Bitcoin, right? Well, now those 2 pizzas, what, like 0.00002 Bitcoin, like something just ridiculous, right? And this is why we have sats. Okay, if anybody doesn't know what sats are a unit of measurement within 1 Bitcoin. There's 100 million sats in 1 Bitcoin. So it could be like, let's say 10,000 sats. 10,000 sats for that one, or those 2 pizzas, right? 10,000 sats instead of the 10,000 Bitcoin. Okay, and if there's 100 million sats in 1 Bitcoin, well, that means that through time, even just within the last decade, 2 pizzas have drastically decreased in price, so to speak, but it's more valuable. Okay, now think about it with regard to the fiat currency system. Completely different. 2 pizzas, let's say 20 years ago, let's just say 10 years ago for the sake of keeping things simple. 10 years ago, 2 pizzas, on average, let's say cost $20. Okay, can you even get a pizza for $20 anymore? Like, I haven't been out to eat since June of last year. No, it was June 30th last year. So I haven't been out to eat since then, so I don't really know how much a pizza costs, but I sure as hell know it's not it's not going to be $10. That's for sure. It's not going to be $10, not even close. I used to go to Little Caesars when I was in college. And Little Caesars, they were like, what? They had to have been $5 pizzas. I wonder if they still have that or not. And even if they do, it's probably even worse worse for what you're paying for now than it was even 10 years ago. So you see how with the fiat system, everything's becoming more expensive, everything becomes less valuable through time. Whereas with Bitcoin and that system, everything becomes cheaper but more valuable through time. That's a very simple explanation on just one of the reasons why HODL, man. HODL your balls, find your balls, hold them, don't sell them, because if you actually, I mean, you can do what you want. This is not financial advice, right? But you can do what you want. But if you truly understand what Bitcoin is, if you truly get it, I have a strong understanding, and I'm not saying to go all in on Bitcoin, okay, because diversifying assets is a real thing. However, I think it would be silly for you to not even think about investing into Bitcoin, because your purchasing power is getting taken away by the day with these fiat systems, and it's only getting worse. The interest payment, you know what I learned the other day? I watched a clip from Joe Rogan and Elon Musk's podcast. I really don't watch Joe Rogan much, and I don't really have an opinion about either of them at this moment. But I just happened to see a clip, and it was something like the Elon Musk said that the interest payment on the debt that the U.S. government has is more than the total yearly, um, the yearly, oh, what's the term called? Oh my gosh, the yearly funds that are available. Don't know why I had the brain fart there. The yearly funds that are available for the military. Can you believe that? That's insane. That's insane. And we spend more on our military than, I mean, it's just not even funny. Like, the numbers are just insane. It's too high to comprehend in some ways. But this is one of the other reasons why Bitcoin will be super easy to understand in the long term, because pretty soon a cup of coffee is what, 5,000 sats or so right now? A cup of coffee might even be 20 sats in the near future. Who knows? Who knows? But the likelihood and the mathematical probability is that Bitcoin is going up and up forever, the more that people understand it. I just don't see how it's not. I don't see how it's not going to, especially with the way that the fiat systems are working right now, especially with the novelty of the technology that is available right now. It's just, I'm not really, I don't see Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, so to speak. I see it as its own thing, its own sovereign thing. And I think that's one of the other reasons that makes it so cool. But anyways, guys, I hope that this was an informative and insightful video for you. Peace. Until next time.